Happy Friday, everyone. Welcome to XFL Fan Zone, and we're going old school tonight. We got He Hate Me, the old Las Vegas Outlaws, and, of course, the old-time XFL hat logo. Well, before we get into our top five and our picks, some quick news around the league. Here's the funniest one for me. Cornerback Bradley Sylvie, I think his name is, from the DC Defenders, gets traded to the LA Wildcats for linebacker and team captain Anthony Johnson. And it's been a wild week in LA. And, of course, Anthony Johnson was cut after he found out Pepper Johnson was fired after only one game the very first week of a very new league. I know what's going on in LA. I hope Winston Moss gets it together. It's not good for LA, it's not good for the Wildcats, and it's not good for the XFL. But, one of the heroes of the Defenders, Bradley Sylvie, goes to LA in exchange for team captain, vocal team captain, Anthony Johnson. Now, other big news this week. Let's see. Oh, yes, the city of Houston has been awarded the XFL Championship, and it will be called the XFL Championship. Thank you. I was hoping it'd be something that simple, nothing off the hook like the X Bowl. I already thought of the X Cup, if the trophy is shaped like a cup. But the only question now is, what will the name of the trophy be, and what will it look like? Almost 2 weeks into the league, and we're still trying to find that information in this league. Well, I'll tell you what, they know how to keep you on your toes. Let's put it that way. All right, so what are the 5 top headlines going into this weekend? So last week, the top 5 headlines was about the league itself because, one, it was a brand new league, a brand new week, teams that we haven't seen yet, not knowing how they're going to play. This week, we could definitely focus more on the teams in the game itself. But our first question of the week is, 1, will the attendance be able to be like last week or better? And will the TV ratings remain the same? Last week, the top 4 sports with the highest ratings were all 4 AAF games. I think the highest one was here in New York with Tampa and my beloved Guardians. But all 4 games did very well. Now, will the ratings keep up? I expect for it to slip a little, but considering it's February and the play last week was very good in all 4 games, I don't see why it should slip that bad. Now, the attendance, well, I'll be at the game tomorrow in Washington for my beloved Guardians. It'll be my first Guardians game on the road, ironically, because I had missed last week's game because of family obligations. But hopefully they'll have close to what they had last week, 18,000 at 18,000 seat stadium. Hopefully it'll be a wonderful atmosphere. I'm looking forward to that stadium very much. I promise to have a video for you on my game day experience there and share what it was like there. The other thing, let's see, game 2. The Seattle home opener, they're expecting, looks like anywhere between 30 and 35,000 in CenturyLink Field. So that's going to be a great home field advantage for the Dragons, as both the Dragons and the Vipers look for their first win. The Houston Roughnecks remain home. This week they'll host the St. Louis Battlehawks, who are on their 2-game Texas road trip. They beat Dallas last week. Hopefully, Houston seemed to be a little behind ticket sales this week, which is disappointing considering how well they played last week and how great Philip Walker was last week. So hopefully we'll match or exceed last week's attendance. And of course, I think night game. What is the night game? See which team will be men's yet? Yeah, the Battlehawks. The Renegades go on the road to take on the Wildcats in their home opener at Dignity Health Park. Now, LA is a tough market for football. It always has been, whether it's been college or pro. They're playing in the same place where the Chargers play. Hopefully they draw better attendance for the home fans. Let me stress that. Home fans than the Chargers do, or at least do as good. If you know, the Charger games have the same our teams on the road. Hopefully the Wildcats do a good job selling that, and that has a tendency to be one of the better ones also because they also play in a soccer-sized stadium. So let's hope the ratings and the attendance do well this week. Second question. We had 3 injured quarterbacks this week. Landry Jones, Josh Johnson, and Aaron Murray was day-to-day. Will they be back in time? Ironically, Jones and Johnson are supposed to play each other in LA for the Dallas and LA game, and it's been announced already that Landry Jones is going to start for the Dallas Renegades. That's just good news. It's good news for Dallas. It's good news for that offense that struggled last week against that St. Louis defense. And it's good news for the league. Landry Jones was the first player we signed. He was the face of the league. Josh Johnson, a late monthly pickup, but he was one of the most sought after quarterbacks. Hopefully he's back for this game. They say that thigh injury is really lingering. And after what Hal Chad Knoff did last week, which he had a good first half and really killed in the second half, the league could use a Josh Johnson versus Landry Jones matchup, especially in the LA home opener. So will those two guys be back? Well, we know Landry Jones is. Hopefully Josh Johnson will be in the game, and hopefully he'll be healthy to do well. This is supposed to be the one of the higher profile games, in my honest opinion, with these two quarterbacks. So if both these quarterbacks play, it could help the attendance and at least the TV ratings a lot. And then, of course, Aaron Murray is day-to-day with the foot injury. Hopefully he'll play. I want to see Aaron Murray play. A lot of people have been giving him a lot of hard time. I mean, yes, I know he made a lot of mistakes, but Jesus, only week 1 of a new league. Let's cut the guy some slack. And to his credit, he has a much better offensive line in Tampa than he did last year with the Atlanta Legends, which was absolutely horrible. So that's the second question of the week. Question of the number 3. Will the Dragons draw over 30,000 fans? It looks like they have, and it looks like they may get up to 35,000 by the time the last-minute people show up tomorrow. It's no secret that LA and St. Louis have been the two best teams as far as ticket sales and season ticket sales. Both Seattle and Tampa are coming off, looking for the first win after losing on the road in week 1. One can only hope this league, and they're encouraged by the good attendance. Now, will Aaron Murray play? I hope he does. If not, then we get to see Quentin Flowers, and I'd like to see Quentin Flowers play also. But Aaron Murray was the allocated quarterback, so I would really like to see him do well. But for this league to survive, we need good quarterback play no matter who is in there. And next week, I want to say next week at St. Louis, but it looks like St. Louis right now is going to have about 28,000 as of right now. Probably going to go over 30 by the time next week rolls along. So, question number 4. Can the Houston Roughnecks and P.J. Walker duplicate that last week's best overall performance? That offense was amazing. P.J. Walker was the offensive star of the week. He put on a hell of a show. That big physical LA defense looked worn down in the second half. They got tired of trying to keep up with him and chasing him around. P.J. Walker looked like in great shape. And boy, he was just fun to watch. Him and Cardale Jones with last week. The two best quarterbacks by far. And the other thing is, on the subject of quarterbacks, rookie quarterback Jordan Tiamu of St. Louis, built off his first game and managed to keep P.J. Walker off the field. St. Louis definitely got more of a balanced attack, whereas, of course, the run and shoot is with Houston. So you're going to have probably the league's arguably the best defense in St. Louis against what looks like definitely the league's best offense after week 1 in the Houston Roughnecks. So that should be a fun game. Who will control the tempo of that game? Well, that's the last game of the weekend. We will find out. And then finally, question number 5, which I think is the game of the week. My beloved New York Guardians against the DC Defenders at Audi Field. And will the fans show up for DC like they did last week and act like the 12th man they have been? Will the fans from New York like myself be willing to travel to support the Guardians? I'll be down here. I'll be in section 138, everyone. I'll be in the end zone. I'm looking forward to that. Tim, thank you for the ticket. I will give you pictures. And folks, I plan to have a game day video of what's like outside around the stadium and inside the stadium and during the game time as well. So that's a video coming up probably, hopefully by Tuesday if I'm lucky. And I think it's also the best quarterback matchup overall, depending if Josh Johnson does not play for LA. If Josh Johnson does play in LA, then that matchup between Josh Johnson and Landry Jones will probably be I would think maybe a better quarterback matchup. But this one is pretty good too. Matt McGloin of New York versus Cardale Jones. Cardale Jones last week in that air raid attack, boy, he looked awesome. He looked like the man we loved the year he won the national championship at Ohio State. He was awesome. That whole offense was awesome. It wasn't perfect. It wasn't flawless like the Houston, but what a good performance. Matt McGloin also had a good week. His offense is definitely a typical Kevin Gilbride offense. It is a cold weather, balanced offense. New York have a couple of pretty big backs. They got Timmy Cook and then Victor in the backfield. I'm trying to think who's the other one. Presley, both who will play the Arizona Hotshots. So it will be 28 degrees tomorrow. It's going to be cold in Audi Field, by far probably the coldest temperatures of the week. That, in my opinion, is also the game of the week because of the closing of the rival. The only rival close in this one, it would be the Houston-Dallas one. So I will be taking the 5-hour drive to Audi Field. And the other thing is, will the cold weather keep fans away? Hopefully not. It's not keeping me away. I am looking forward to tomorrow. I can honestly say I'm looking forward to week 2 very much as I did week 1. Unlike the National Football League, we have XFL football dates on both Saturday and Sunday, which is awesome. I know college rules Saturday, but I am definitely more of a pro football person, always have been. And you can call the XFL what you want. The alternate league, the minor league. I prefer minor league football, the way we saw last week, over college football. Because I know more people like college football, but let's face it, folks, the better talent is definitely in the XFL over college. It's very hard to get to the pros. And last week made me want the XFL even more. Unlike the NFL, which has been pretty stale. The new rules last week for the XFL made it very exciting. The kickoff rule, the punt rule, the 3 PAT options, the 25-second play clock. It is run, fast-paced game. I am looking forward to it. And like I said, hopefully we have 5 competitive games this week. Now let's start picking out games. Tampa Bay at Seattle. This is one. This is a tough one for me. Of course, the odds maker keep calling Tampa Bay one of the better teams. They keep calling Seattle one of the worst teams. Seattle did pretty good job playing in a loss. Tampa Bay did everything well last week other than score and turn the ball over. They gave up the least amount of yards on defense and had the most yards on offense. Will Aaron Murray play? I don't know. Brandon Silvers is going to be the starting lineup again. Good. I hope he does good. Oh boy, 35,000 in CenturyLink Stadium. Ooh, I'm really hoping. I shouldn't say that. Like I said, I hope this league is 4-4 after 8 weeks. But tomorrow, I think the home field advantage is going to give Seattle an advantage. I like them 26-20 over Tampa Bay. We'll go LA Dallas next game. Landry Jones is definitely starting. Hopefully Josh Johnson starts. I'm going to assume that Chad Connell is starting again for the Wildcats. Winston Moss has not named his offensive quarterback for this week, and there's been a lot of turmoil in quarterback with the fire of Pepper Johnson, the release, then the trade of Anthony Johnson, their captain, his meltdown, the press conference last week. I don't like what's going on in LA. I hope all these games are competitive. I hope we have good quarterback play. This is what the league needs. But I'm going to take Dallas this one also. I'm going to go 30-20 Dallas. Let's see. Another game. Oh, yeah, we'll go with, we'll do St. Louis and Houston next. The best defense after week 1 against the best offense. I'm taking the best offense in this one. I'm not putting down St. Louis by no means, but boy, LA was supposed to come in with a good defense led by Winston Moss, who's basically the probably league's best defensive coach overall. Kevin Grillbell has done both offense and defense over the years, so he's a balanced guy. But they ran over that LA defense pretty good. Although I say the Battlehawks played the better defense last week against what is arguably they called one of the more potent offenses in the league, minus Landry Jones. Will that make a difference? I think Landry Jones does make a difference. Is he ready off the injury to be what we want him to be, what we expect him to be? I don't know. But I'm taking Houston over St. Louis. I'm gonna go. Let's see. I'm going to go 23-16 in this game. And finally, the first game of the week, which I am calling the game of the week between my beloved Guardians and the DC Defenders. I really want to pick my Guardians. I really, really do. But offensively, they capitalized last week on the turnovers. Good job by Matt McGloin and the offense for doing that. And that New York defense was bend but don't break. But I am going to take the home team, unfortunately, this one. Hopefully I'm wrong, but I think the DC Defenders will go 2-0 into the division and beat my Guardians. I'm going to go... I'm going to go 23-19 in this one, Defenders. So those are my picks for the week. And as far as the Houston being named the site for the XFL Championship, my opinion is has been the same. I think the higher seed, the team with the best record, should be the home team in the XFL Championship. Now you may say, that is not fair. Well, I disagree with you. I think it's very fair. It's one thing if we had 32 teams, but when you only have 8 teams and all 8 teams play each other, there's no reason for the home team not to have the better home field advantage. For the simple reason is they play each other. If they finish tied with the best record in the XFL Championship, well, the head-to-head matchup in the regular season would decide who gets the home field. And it would make the regular season games between the two conferences mean that much more. It would increase, to me, it would increase drama, TV ratings, and attendance, and that's what this league needs this year. Revenue is everything. And because I want a sellout for the championship game, it gives the league the best chance to have a sellout. Now, with this being a neutral stadium, I'm not sure it was going to happen. If it was going to be the neutral stadium, I would have preferred Audi Field because it's only 18,000 seat stadium. It would be a lot easier to sell out as opposed to 40,000 seat TDECU stadium. And with 6 million people living in the Metro DC area, it is possible that game would have been sold out. I really believe that. But with that being said, I'm going to be honest with you. I'm rooting for the league. I'm a Guardians fan. I'm rooting for the whole league. I want all teams after 8 weeks to be 4-4. And all teams be in the hunt for the playoffs. But I'm going to be honest with you. I am rooting for the Houston Roughnecks to go to the championship game because I want to see a sellout. I want to see that sellout. I'm not rooting for to win the whole thing. I want my Guardians to do that. But for that game to be a sellout, I am rooting that they get to the game at least. So that game can be sold out and it looks better. I think it'd be very awkward for the 2 semifinal games to have a better atmosphere and bigger crowds in your championship game. And this is another reason why I am not in favor of the championship game being a neutral stadium. So anyway, that's my picks for the week. Folks, catch me on Facebook Live tomorrow on 100% XFL, on Duty New York Guardians, as well as the Houston Roughnecks and LA Wildcats Facebook pages. We'll talk to you later. Enjoy the games, everyone.